Hello, this is Ryan Svilar, General Manager with PanelShop.com, and today we're going to show you how to actually use the online configurators to go ahead and build a control panel for your specific needs. So the first thing that we're going to do is enter PanelShop.com as our web address to get to the main site, and from there we can actually go ahead and go right into the online configurators by clicking the Start Building button in the center of the page. Now this is the configurator home, where you can see it's going to give you an option of different types of control panels that are available for customization within the site. For today's purposes, we're going to go ahead into our DC drive configurator, which takes us to the next page, which gives some summary information about some of the selections that you're going to be making as you move forward. You're also going to see to the right some example photos scrolling of some different DC drives that you can configure on the website. So we're going to go ahead and select to price it with options. Now we've actually entered into the DC drive configurator, and the very first question it's going to ask is if we have a configured part number. That's a repeatable number. If you happen to be a returning customer, you can actually purchase the exact same control panel without having to configure it again, just by entering in the part number that's listed on the inside of the panel. For today's purposes, we do not have one, so we're going to go ahead and select no. The manufacturer selections is the very first selection of the base options that come up. We're going to go ahead and choose Allen Bradley. And the next series of questions is to select the actual series. We're going to go ahead and use the PowerFlex DC drive. From there, we're going to go ahead and make a voltage selection, as well as horsepower. For today, we'll just go ahead with 25 horsepower. The power section, we're going to go with 4-quadrant, regenerative. And we're going to get a verification for the motor, for the drive output amp rating, as well as the drive field current rating. This is a little bit of a checks and balance to make sure that you're comfortable and have the right selections that you've made for depending on your application. Once we move on from the base selections, we get to the system options, and the very first question being asked is for the enclosure type. We're going to go ahead and select NEMA 12. Which then takes us to a disconnect option, so we'll go ahead and select circuit breaker. And we're going to go ahead and add a dedicated isolation transformer to this configuration. We also have an option for an input low Z reactor, and whether we want to add dynamic braking. We're also going to add knife switches to this configuration. And you can see all along the right side of this screen, this is actually keeping a summary of all the selections that you're making. So if at any point you need to change something, you can see what you've selected in some of the previous screens. And if you need to go back, you can just tab across the top here to go back to some of the previous selections. We're going to go ahead for the system options and also select a metering package for this. Now that takes us out of the system options. From here, we're now down to the control options for the configuration. As it's asking whether we want a door-mounted keypad, we can select none or a basic one. So we'll go ahead and select basic. And we also have an option for pilot devices. Finally, we have a communication option, which you see you have different options here, 4 different ones available, or none at all. We're just going to go ahead and choose Ethernet IP for today. So that takes us to the end of our configuration, and one of the things that's nice on PanelShop.com is you're going to see instant drawings. Your general schematic here is going to show a general layout of what you actually just configured. Again, sometimes you need the visual confirmation of what you built. We also have the enclosure detail that populates, and these are all just PDFs that you can print out if you need to as well. This is going to show you the dimensions of the enclosure, as well as some additional information like the ventilation and cooling that's a part of the enclosure. The final drawing that comes with this is the control image, and again, it's just going to show you a general image of the keypad as well as some of the metering that's going to be on the front of the actual control panel. additional information that you're going to find on this page is just some summary information, again on the right side, but then we're going to cover environmental parameters and then also make things available to you, such as the actual user manuals for the brand of drive that you just chose. Now, these are the manuals that do come directly from the manufacturer and are included usually in the form of a CD-ROM once a drive is actually purchased, but you do actually have them here available to you as well. From here, we can go ahead and finish our configuration, which is going to go ahead and add it into our shopping cart. And there we have our instant price showing for the DC drive that we just configured. Now, the part number that it asked for at the beginning is actually showing right here for the very first time. So if you wanted to write this down, record this, and go back, you can enter that again as opposed to having to go through the configuration again. So we also have a general lead time provided as well. Now, the other thing to note is that we just went through that entire configuration without even registering for the site. Up here is a nice little reminder that if we register, we're actually going to get a little bit better price for that product that we just configured. From here, we can go ahead and check out if we would like to and purchase the item. That is really how simple it is with being able to browse, build, and buy your control panels on PanelShop.com. Offering a wide range of products from multiple manufacturers, PanelShop.com provides user-configured solutions as well as custom-designed products. To find out more, visit PanelShop.com. Browse, build, buy.